Hey, call me Shape. And today I'm reacting to a video titled The Real Reason Why Black Women Reject Accountability. Let's get right into it.
This is going to segue perfectly, man. Who is responsible for holding black women accountable? Because clearly they can do whatever the they want. So I'm just a girl. Can you explain this? Because your whole platform is about holding black women accountable, and you have gotten a lot of pushback, specifically from black women who have tried to, out you. They try to Google your man and find out his social security number, leak it online and shit like that. So again, when a lot of the criticism is that when men have a platform and they talk about women say it's not a man's job or responsibility to hold black women accountable. Black women need to hold women accountable. Clearly, that's not a thing. So, what's your thoughts on this topic?
Honestly, like you said, it's no one can hold black women accountable. Because it's all really BS when we say it's very cliche to say let black women hold us accountable. Black women mind your business, but we can't. Black women, unfortunately, we have adopted this mentality that I can do whatever I want to do and can't nobody tell me anything. And this is why we are where we're at. So when we try to have these conversations and try to hold each other accountable, you do get it out of that. Well, it's not my job. It's not your job. Mind your business. And I think we live in a very selfish, egotistical society now that nobody cares. We don't care. I care about my sister, but her friend, I don't care about her but I can see her going downhill about to get hit by a bus. Well, it ain't my business, right? So I think if you're a black woman and the whole black woman accountable, you have to be ready to fight, because it's going to come. It's going to come with a lot, just to say, sis, I don't want to see you out here doing that. And anybody who knows my platform, I'm always thinking about how young girls are being influenced. So what us grown women are doing, it's influencing these girls to do these out of control, I don't care attitudes. They have the most disgusting attitudes, and you can't even check them because they have their moms who say I could do whatever I want. So can't no one hold us accountable. No, not a black man, a white man. Your white boss probably, that's probably the only one who can tell us what to do because he pay us. A gay man can tell us what to do. That's kind of, it still revolves around if it's a black woman or a black man, a straight black man, we don't want to hear it. And it's unfortunate. We are really in a place where we don't even realize how bad off we are. We don't even, a woman who has it all figured out. And I'm saying, sis, I can help you. And you say, I don't need your help. I'm gonna do what I want to do. But I'm watching you do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it's not working. So instead of saying, you know what, sis, you're right. Let me take heed to this. I'm going to fight because can't nobody tell me nothing.
So let me start here with this question. Who do you think can hold black women accountable?
Are we talking to Biotic now? I don't have an opinion on that. I feel like to each his own. Maybe their community, I don't know. Maybe their friends, their mom, whoever their support system is, that's who can hold them accountable. So that's my intake on that.
Okay. What's your thoughts?
I would say due to experience, it will probably be a village. I feel like people take heed to certain people, certain mentorships, and can be very adaptive depending on their nurture and their background, what they've been exposed to. So I do believe that it's hard to hold black women accountable for certain things. But I do kind of agree with the to each. I agree with both of you, honestly. It's a to each his own, because I've had experience with my mom, even with her giving me feedback and from her experience. And I feel like a lot of times they try to implode or tell you what they've been through and try to place it on you. I've been through this, so don't do this. It's just because your finger burned when you touched the pot don't mean mine will. So I feel like a lot of people, they want to try it. It's like a trial and error in life. And sometimes you need to experience before you can really be adaptive to it. You can't just take somebody's word.
You got burn-proof fingers?
I'm just saying, you never know. But sometimes you need to experience what somebody is trying to recommend rather than just taking their recommendation and running with it.
You can't experience everything. How do you teach gun safety to a child? Make them experience a dangerous situation? Of course not. You make a mistake with that, it's fatal. Not everything in life is a try for all. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. Black women tried single motherhood. It's not working. But still more, let me try. Okay, I'm going to check it out. The truth of the matter is black women don't want to be held accountable. That lady said it the best. Only white men, or white boss, I should say, and gay men can hold black women accountable. It's sad. The right answer is the community. The black community holds black women accountable. And by the community, we mean the leadership. Who's in the leadership? The men. So black men, we got to hold our women accountable, right? They're our women. That's how we got to look at it. It's our women. In fact, humans should hold humans accountable in general. Men should hold black women accountable, even to keep it real to you, even men that are not just black men. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we've gotten into this race thing. I don't mind talking about this race thing. You get what I'm trying to say? But at the end of the day, we're humans. Humans need to hold humans accountable. We need to take the best information from other humans and learn and grow. It's called being a good student, but we're too stubborn to learn.
So let me feel the burn, and then I'm like, all right, you was right. Let's move forward. Rather than me actually saying, like, she said it's hot. It don't really look that hot, but I'm going to just run with it. So I think it's a trial and error type thing. Okay. I'm using the pot as an example.
No, I got you.
Yes.
What's your thoughts?
I believe we're all responsible for ourselves. We are here. We are not put here to live someone else's life. We're not put here to live somebody else's journey. We're not here to grow our mother's garden. We learn from experience, and we are responsible for ourselves. Like, you can't blame somebody else for what you do. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that we are accountable for our actions. We live and we learn. Like, sometimes we make wrong decisions, but it's us who have to pay for it, not somebody else. So we are responsible for us and our actions. Women, black women, whoever it is, I am responsible for myself. She responsible for herself. She responsible for herself. She responsible for herself. So if how she thinks, she got to be responsible for what comes with that. That's for her. That's not for me, because I don't feel that way. So I'm responsible for me. She responsible for her. Everybody responsible for themselves.
Every man for themselves, right? And this is why the black community is what it is. There is no community. There is no common unity amongst the black community. She just said it. She's a narcissist. She's selfish. It's all about her. Every man for themselves. Yeah, it's like when something happens, the black woman's like, oh, I don't feel protected. I don't feel protected. You're by yourself. You got hands, right? So she said a bunch of nothing just to hear herself talk. It's sad, but this is how a lot of black women think. It's sad, but it's true.
Yeah, this is why I be like, our community be in trouble, because we got motherfuckers that be thinking like, well, what's your thoughts on this? Like, it was crazy.
I would say that I think that is a detriment, first of all, because we should be, if we want to build community around our neighbors, I should be able to tell you something, you should be able to hear it, and vice versa. And as a father to a young girl and boys, what I do is going to affect their lives. So if we sit here and say that we are only useful for ourselves, or we're responsible for what we do for ourselves, I can't sit here and agree. I'm going to be responsible for my sister walking up and down the street, my homegirls, my mama, cousins, nieces, and that just don't stop. And whatever they do is wrong, I'm going to let them know, and I want them to do the same thing for me, because that's how we build community.
That's okay. When one says that, you ask, who's responsible for, what was the question?
Who is responsible for holding black women?
I'm with a black woman. I have a black woman. I have a black mother. I have a black auntie. I'm naming multiple black women I'm responsible for.
That's fine.
And I will hold them accountable.
That's okay.
And the same thing.
It's okay to give advice, and it's okay to, like, it's not limited. You ask who's responsible for black women's ideas on what did you ask? Your question?
Who's responsible for holding black women accountable?
Yes, that's all you asked.
I am.
Not saying... It's not.
He is. He's saying
I
he
am.
is
No, that's not. Okay, but I'm just saying it's not limited to that.
Why not?
I'm saying that it's not just limited. Me saying that we're responsible for ourselves does not mean that's it. Like, doesn't mean that I can't give advice to somebody else. I'm saying that my choices, I'm responsible.
We're not asking for advice. Do you understand the question? No one's asking to advise you. What's your advice? It's not about giving advice. It's telling people you can't do this. Don't do this. If you see your cousin doing heroin, you know what I'm saying? Are you going to say, oh, I'm going to mind my business. She's responsible for her. I'm responsible for me. You're going to say, yo, what are you doing? If you see someone you know that's enumerated and they had a lot to drink and they're about to get in the car and drive, you're going to say, hey, bro, stop, and force them not to drive. Or you're going to say, oh, they're holding themselves accountable. This is what I mean. Accountability is, in this sense, is like, who's your accountability partner? It should be your family. It should be your community. Unfortunately, we only want the government to hold us accountable. That's the story people want to talk about. We only want the police to hold us accountable. That's why when we have an issue, instead of calling for the community leader, we call the cops. That's not right. You know what I'm saying? I think we need to have, that's why we have no structure. We have no hierarchy. There is no head. Therefore, there is no control. There is no order. So how can we have order if she would get up here and everyone give a different answer, but she would get up here and say, I'm responsible for myself. But if she was attacked in public and there's a bunch of men and they just watch her be attacked, she's going to look at it like, how come no one did anything?
What the choices that I make. I'm not saying that I won't give advice to somebody that I'm seeing going the wrong way. Of course not. Of course, that's not what I'm saying. I'm answering your one question. It doesn't limit me to that in every aspect. There's other aspects of that.
What you ain't saying?
Because I don't have to. Because you asked me one question. You didn't say, am I responsible for my aunties and for young women? Of course.
They not black women?
Of course. But I'm responsible for my actions as a person. I'm not living anybody else's life. If I see somebody going the wrong way, of course I'm going to help them. Like, one question does not apply to the whole thing.
He didn't ask you who's responsible for holding you accountable. He said who's responsible for holding black women.
Me. I am responsible for holding myself as a black woman.
You talking about yourself. We not talking about
Bro,
you.
how can I... My love, you're not responsible for her or him or this person. Like,
the word is not responsible, it's accountable. Who's responsible for the accountability? See, this is an intellectual issue. She's not as smart as she thinks she is. She's confused about the question. If this was an essay question on an exam for her, she would fail because she wouldn't answer the question properly. But she has a lot to say. And my friends, welcome 2025. This is black women in 2025. They got so much to say, they don't know what they're talking about, unfortunately, right? But instead of listen, learn, and gain, and read and study and then improve, they're just going to argue. They hear themselves talk. And it's about their ego. It's really about the ego and the idea that I feel like I'm a smart person, therefore I'm a smart person. I feel like I'm smart. I'm not dumb. No, of course not. My ego tells me I'm not dumb. And then when you ask them, what's the evidence of it? What do you read? What's the last book you read? If you want to challenge somebody in general, ask them, what's the last book you read? Or ask them, are they reading anything? You know, most people are going to say no. And they're going to run into scenarios like this where they have a conversation and they can't converse because they can't understand what people are communicating. They can't. Nothing that she's saying, nothing that she's countering right now is being asked for her, who she's responsible for. We know you're responsible for yourself. That's a half truth. We get that. Okay? But in the broader question, there's two words, responsibility and accountability. And who's responsible for the accountability, hold you accountable. I am an accountability partner for my clients. I'm a personal trainer. I hold them accountable. Right? If they're slacking on their stuff, I said, pick it up. You need to get it up. You know what I'm saying? If they're not squeezing their core during the workout, I'm like, yo, squeeze your core. Brace your core. You know what I'm saying? If they have a improper posture, let's say their shoulder blades are elevated or let's say or protracted. You know what I'm saying? I tell them retract your shoulder blades or depress your shoulder blades. I hold them accountable. It's my job to do that. I get paid to do that. And black men in our community, that's what we're supposed to do in our community. We're supposed to check our community. Cue them. Just like a personal trainer, I'm cueing the body of my client. The black man is supposed to cue the body of the black women. Right? And body being the whole, the entirety of the black women. To check you. But you don't want to be checked. You don't want to have any order. You don't want to answer to anybody. But that's not true. As far as you don't have to answer to anybody, you do have to answer to somebody. You answer to your boss. This is why you guys are obedient to that. You answer to the police. That's why you're obedient to it. Because here's the truth. When the cops come get you, or the police come get you, the community's not going to go to jail with you. They're going to show you that, yeah, you're responsible for your own actions. But it's our job as a community to try to prevent that. Prevent you from going to jail. So, I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. It's unfortunate she didn't understand the question. To me, this is an intellectual issue. You know, she would have failed this if this was an essay question as well. But it's very indicative of what we see in the community, that black women have a lot to say, right? And they probably should read a little bit more, respectfully. You know, and there's nothing wrong with reading. I need to read more. You're not the only one. I need to read more, right? By the way, in the description, you'll see a link to my Amazon affiliate list. These are lists of some of my favorite books when it comes to finance and health. You know, I literally made lists of some of the best books for personal finance and health. So if you want to see my recommendation, hit the link in the description, my Amazon affiliate link. But we all need to read. We all need to grow. We're not as smart as we need to be, so we need to up the ante. She's speaking and arguing below a high school level. This is when you graduate high school, you should be above this level in comprehension and be able to speak honestly. In the communication, you got to be way better than that. Also, you need to be way better at interpreting what a question means, right? What's the relationship between the words in the sentence of the question? Anyway, I'm getting really specific, but like the video, subscribe to the channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you over there.